FEMA, as well as our state and local partners, have been responding to multiple disasters over the last several years. And then we had COVID last year, right? And COVID-19, first disaster that affected every state and territory across the country, and all of our emergency managers from the federal, state, and local level, they're feeling it. I think where FEMA comes in is understanding where they're at, making sure our team is rested and reset and ready to support as needed, giving jurisdictions those preparedness dollars, those preparedness technical assistant opportunities to help build their capacity so they can get enough resources to address their unique needs.
So we saw a big change with America during COVID. All of a sudden it's like, well, if I don't have to be in the office, I'm going to live where I want to live. And that happens to be the wildland interface and the coast, which we saw a lot of people go to. Does that worry you at all?
It worries me if they're not taking the steps that they need to make sure that they're prepared. I think regardless of where you live, everybody has a responsibility to take the steps now to plan and prepare for the disasters that affect them where they live. And they can do that very simply. They can go to ready.gov and get assistance and guidance on how to develop a plan. They can make their go kit to make sure that people are ready to go if the local authorities tell them that they have to leave. And the other thing is they need to know how they're going to get their information. They can sign up for things like the FEMA app or their local jurisdictions app to get information of when disasters or threats are potentially going to impact them.
Are you worried about the supply chain issues? Look at plywood.
Yeah.
You worry people won't board up or do the necessary things to prepare for a storm because of that?
Supply chain is a critical component of what we're doing, right? We saw that during COVID, right? It wasn't just PPE, but it was the supply chain got disrupted to the point where we couldn't even get daily commodities to come in. And so, you know, we have a great team here that is looking at the supply chain issues daily, but they're even more focused on it now, working with the private sector and having a better understanding of where the shortfalls might be and how we can ensure that we have the right mechanisms in place to limit the disruption that we're going to have to that supply chain. We want people to be able to take the measures they need to in order to prepare themselves.
What do you want your legacy to be here?
I think that my big contribution is going to be this ability to embrace climate change and the risks that we are facing, and to be able to make true investments, deliberate investments across the country to help communities become more resilient. I think that we have such an incredible opportunity to make these generational level investments to reduce the impacts that we're seeing from climate change, and not on an incremental approach like we've done in the past, but on community-wide approaches, system-wide, that protects the entire community.